much obsessed with it. And so I moved to LA right out of high school, quickly kind of got some PA work. At the same time, I was waiting tables at night and auditioning and doing all of that song and dance. And it was just a really magical time back then. I was really, my DJing career took off, and so I worked a lot, and serious, I worked a lot in the music industry, and that eventually opened the doors to segment producing. So I did, the first thing that I ever produced was a tent on the Vans Warped Tour. So I went on tour for 48 cities and did a whole, performance, and on top of that, booked talent in every single city, local talent there, because they wanted to bring more hip hop to the Warped Tour. And then when I got back into town, Sway and Tech invited me to come and work with them on their show. We ended up doing a pilot for MTV. I ended up from there getting a job with an unscripted producer who had me researching, and then eventually production managing and coordinating at different times, just depending on what the show needed. But it was a lot of like the Miss Universe pageant and the Miss America pageant and the VH1 Decade specials. And we did a really fun special on Bravo called Celebrity Autobiographies. And at a certain point, he was like, "Are you just going to be my helper forever, or what do you want to do?" And I'm like, "Well, I want to work in scripted. How do I make the jump over to scripted?" And it was so siloed back then. If you were in unscripted, you couldn't work in scripted or vice versa. And it was the same thing within scripted, motion picture lit, features, as opposed next to television. So I almost got hired here at William Morris, and then HR was like, "Wait, you haven't gone to college?" And I'm like, "I've been meaning to do that." And I sincerely had been meaning to do that. So I took the opportunity, I went back to school, still DJing at night, and transferred from Valley College into UCLA. Had a great time studying Italian and Spanish literature, and we'll talk about like specific sort of degrees later, and just kind of kept my eye on the prize. I was a much better student later on in life, and I was also very focused, and I knew that I wanted to go from production to scripted development.